Okay, last episode, Alex. Welcome everyone to another episode of A Businessman's Guide to Almost Everything, the show where I, your host, Kole Berzenji, get to sit down with interesting folks from a myriad of different fields. We got to pick apart what they do, what makes them tick, and some of the fears that they face. Today, I'm sitting with, who are you, what do you do, and where are you from?
My name is Alex Hutchi. I'm based in Seattle, and I am a chef apprentice, and I focus on building content for a personal private chef.
Right on. So today, I want to talk about you, what you do, how you came to what you do, and your life journey.
Wow, that's a great question. I recently met a private chef about a year ago. I was actually just out at a mutual friend's birthday party, and what started as a friendship ended up being a new partnership. And a lot of that came from my background in community building. I was working in tech for many years, and then prior to that I had a menswear collection, so always really enjoyed like youth culture, trends, tech, just like anything that was cutting edge. I wanted to learn, I wanted to be a part of it. So with my love of learning and my love of adventure of unstructured business and career life, I chose to be a creative consultant so that I can really make impact on local businesses as well as founders and small teams like under 30 people and be able to bring them solutions for how to be online, how to get comfortable speaking on camera, and really understanding how people are growing their communities within their business and being a part of the community that they're also building.
So have you always had an entrepreneurial, independent will to you?
No. I feel like I was very much like I knew that I wanted to do something creative. I think that's kind of how it all started. So for me, it was learning how to tailor men's clothes and sew, and I really got into like the production side. So I actually got to go to like Hong Kong and like experience like the fashion industry from like all over the world. Got to spend time in Europe.
How old were you during all this?
Oh gosh, I was like early 20s. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now looking back, I know the type of work and the rigor, like how hard it was. That was like grad level. Like if I were pursuing college in a linear way, that was probably like grad level. So I had published a paper in my undergrad. I was doing a lot of research. I was, I wanted to be a trend forecaster. That was like one thing that I took from like going to design school that I thought was so interesting, to just get paid to talk about trends and like observe and like write. But yeah, I was always like just really into like being creative and like synthesizing information, and this is before like YouTube came along, so I really didn't have a place to like put any of these stories or adventures or ideas, but I just loved being able to be there, like to learn. And so after my menswear collection winded down, I stuck with photography. That was one thing that, from filming and making content and things like that, I still kept up with photography. And so with that, I was able to hang out with a director in LA and got to see a lot about the production sides, like from editing to like being on set with like music artists and like going to concerts, like all these like really cool experiences. And just like knowing my learning style, I think that really helped me self-guide through different scenarios, through different like career opportunities, jobs, anything. I really learn best by just working with like somebody who's really good at what they do. So that's kind of like how my entrepreneur spirit kind of started, was that even when I was like a teenager, I hung out at the streetwear store because I wanted to go to school to be a footwear designer, and got to know like retail at a very young age. And like that was something that ended up being like one of the first jobs that I got, was like working in a showroom or like designing new collections, because like I just loved retail. I love understanding like, why does somebody want to buy this? And so now that we have the internet and like making content, it's still very much the same principles of like sales psychology. It's like, why does somebody want to buy this? Why does somebody want to watch this? And like just having that natural curiosity where it's like, I want to know why. I want to know why this content is doing better than this, or like, how do I improve like the way that I deliver this like very complex, boring subject? It's like a very interesting way that's engaging for people to like want to take action or like want to buy. And just being able to like use that years of just sitting online and like sitting on Reddit, sitting in chat rooms, and just like really just like being where the people are at, and have that like turn into a career profession. Like it's amazing. Like, you know, getting paid to push buttons, very, you know, in a simple way. But I think the biggest thing is that I really like love being around people and like love like hearing their stories and cooking for them and like hosting and like, you know, just like having fun. You know, I think a lot of things in my life kind of came out of like experiencing life and not putting so much pressure on myself to know the answers, but to look outward and just see like, okay, if other people are able to do this, there has to be a way that I can do this. And I think that really kind of like allowed me to experience the things for personal development that also got to be able to help me grow like professionally as well.
Can you tell us about your entrance into photography and videography? Like, what was it about it that grabbed you? And then as you were getting into the weeds, how did you know that this is something that's going to stick?
Wow. Believe it or not, I know this is going to sound really like really cheesy. Reality shows. I grew up watching Real World. I love pop culture, like reality shows. I think they are so interesting in that the way that they cut them to keep you hooked to come back, it's a science. And this was kind of when I got this one experience when I was living in LA. I got to go to the YouTube studio. Like they had a huge lot that they built. And I got to like, I think I went for a game show. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like I got to be an audience member. I'm here at this game show. It's a YouTuber that has produced the whole thing. And at that moment, I was like, I want to know how to do this. Like, this is what I want to do. And I was in design school. I didn't pick up a single camera that whole time I was in college. But like, I knew after that, I was like, I'm going to like learn how to use a camera. And so I think one of my uncle gave me a camera. And he gave me like a film camera, of course.
Right.
And he's just like, you're creative. And I was like, I went to design school. I sew. He's like, you're creative. Take this camera. So I did, and I ended up doing film photography, and that ended up getting me into very like a lot of fun situations. Like I got to, you know, work with this. I was working with this director in LA. He was a music video director, so like I got to like meet like Wiz Khalifa. I went over. I interned for a bit, and I should say not intern. I worked with like Universal Music for a minute, so I was over in Paris, and I got to meet like Mos Def. That was like when I was doing fashion. I was like hanging out over there, and just like being able to like meet like music artists or just like even celebrities, like people who are like, I would say, I don't know if you want to necessarily like they're good at what they do, but like they're well known at what they do.
Sure.
Being able to be around them and like still see them as like people and like get invited to go hang out with them. It's kind of like one of the things that really kind of like clicked in my head. I was like, wait a minute, there's nothing different about them. Like they're just like, they're on camera all the time. Like they're just like, they're comfortable being on camera. They're fun and entertaining. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. So those experiences, watching reality TV, hanging around celebrities, that really got me into like wanting to get good at like filming and like cameras and like knowing how to like tell a good story. Because it was the people who was in front of them that I thought were just so entertaining and interesting. And so, you know, having a camera really helped me like break out of my shell. I was not as outgoing as I was, like I would say before camera, after camera. But like having a camera, it's like I had to speak up. Like I had to act like stop people and like film and like be comfortable with like starting conversations on the spot and like all these things that before I did it were super scary. I was like, no, I can never just walk up to somebody and just talk to them. Now I can. But I mean, it's just that, you know, the camera became a way to help me to have a reason to talk to someone that eventually when I stopped, you know, I should say I've definitely moved more into like making my own, like I have my own YouTube channel now, so I'm not like making content for other people as much. But I realized that the camera was kind of a tool or gave me a reason to talk to people. And so eventually I realized, I was like, wait a minute, I don't need to photograph all the time. I can just go talk to people. And that's when sort of the whole like building community and like finding reasons to bring people together really just started to become a part of my life. Like it was, you know, the camera to meeting people to like, let's build a community where we all feel like we're a part of something. And so yeah, I'm really thankful that I had a lot of crazy experiences in my 20s that really pushed my social what is it like so my social skills to the maximum. But it's like, you know, living in LA, it's like, you know, you never know, the next person you meet could be like the next star, or like you go and see a music artist and like they're big, few years later you got to see them just like as another artist in LA. And I think if anyone has the opportunity to live in LA, they definitely should. Like, it really humbles you, because there are like literally 50 other people just like you trying to do the same thing. And it just reminds you, like, I am good at what I do. This is great. And I'm good at what I do. And like, you just have to like keep coaching yourself through it to keep doing it. And it was just such a really great experience. And like, yeah, for most of my early career, I was in places like LA, New York, London, got to go to Hong Kong, was all throughout Europe. So it's like, I really did not understand the scale of like most people my age were not doing that early in their career. So for me, I just like, I had to figure out how to be on, how to like talk to people, how to like, you know, sell, how to pitch, how to raise money. Like it was like, I was just like on like business on like level 100, you know?
So do you have like an introverted disposition, or are you an extrovert true and through?
I would say like I'm kind of more of a social moth. Like I'm definitely like pretty outgoing and social, yet I definitely need my time to like recharge and like do quiet activities. So I think that's kind of like the duality of like being super outgoing is also like when I need to recharge and think, I oftentimes need to like plan time where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make social plans. I'm literally going to spend time by myself, go out, walk by myself, like do something solo. So that way, like the ideas and like the sort of like the, I guess like I get time to reflect, you know, I get time to like piece it all together and like look back on like, okay, I met that person introduced me to that person, they know this person. Like, it's just like where I kind of map out like the stories. And I think that's like really interesting on how I kind of like manage my energy. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like pretty extroverted. I've definitely accepted that now. I feel like I just like know when to turn that on and off, because there are times, and I think that's really important. It's important to know like be able to read that, because like I have a younger sibling. I would definitely say she's definitely more on the introverted side, but it's like knowing how to like slow down the conversation and leave space for the other person to think. That comes a lot through just like being like knowing yourself, and as well as like reading other like being able to tell when other people are more introverted. But that's not like a black or white thing. I think that there are times and spaces where people who want to talk about something, a topic that they like, and I think that's like what I love the most about making content and like working with people in their content. It's like I like to discover what the topic that person loves to talk about to get them to talk, because I think it's so amazing and it lights them up when they talk about something they really care about. And I think that's like probably one of the favorite things that I do in life, is like knowing whether it's serving someone food that they haven't had since they were a child, and like seeing them light up and like that wave of emotions on that, or seeing them like talk about something that they're really passionate about, whether it's their business or a topic, and just seeing how passionate they are and like seeing like how much they care about it, how much they know about it. Like I think that side of human is like just amazing that we all have that, and it really just takes like someone holding that space for them to feel heard, you know. So
I know we don't have you for as long today as we have in some of the other ones, but I got one last question for you, just because I'm sure you've run into this challenge as well. But when your job is to create things all day, that has a certain level of exhaustion that's not like stamina related. It is creative related. Sometimes it's just hard to think of new things to do. So how do you deal with creative exhaustion, and how do you recharge?
Oh my gosh. Burnout is very real. And I think a lot more people are talking about creative burnout or burnout in general. Oftentimes when I feel like I should say, I don't feel like I ever run out of ideas.
Really?
Which is like, yeah, I write everything down. Like that is essential. Like keep a journal, save notes, voice notes, save it all, because I think the best thing to do is always have creativity is a muscle. You have to use it in order to improve it and to be creative on the drop of a dime. So, I mean, I feel like in times where I feel burnt out or need to recharge, I stick to a routine. Like I am like up at 9, on a walk, like routine is the thing that I stick with, because oftentimes through the routine you allow the space for the ideas to come to you. When I'm like trying to like, oh, I need to think of this idea right now, they like run and hide. Like I swear that's what happens every time. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and make this video, like I got this, and I'm like, I don't even know what to say right now. But like if I'm on a walk, if I'm like on a bike ride, like somewhere that I'm not in front of my computer to write it down, the ideas will literally come to me, and I'm like, well, I should have just been doing something else. They would have came to me. So I think that oftentimes like having a good balance between like being online and being offline, and like doing things with people and like doing things solo, it is a very much like cultivating a creative energy in that. How do I take something that's very much a feeling and make it real, or explain it to someone else, or like get someone else to buy in to like fund it? That is all just like, you know, it starts with like how well rested I am, how much am I taking care of things outside of like work and creativity. I think that's like, you know, a good balance. But the thing about like, you know, ideas and like making content and all this, it's like I still have to, I should say, I'm thankful that even when life is crazy or like things are hard, I still have to show up and like do my job. Yeah. And like I think sometimes like oftentimes if there's one thing I could like share with like creators or anyone getting started, is that not every day making content is a good day. Like there are days where it's just like, I'm going to read this script and be on for this camera, and then I'm literally going to sit on this couch and watch Netflix for hours. And that's very much real. That like that happens sometimes. But it's like I've learned to accept like that's a part of the creative process, and not feel like, okay, if I'm not cranking out like 100 videos a week, like I'm not doing it. Like, you know, it's just like there's gotta like, you're still a human. Like there's still the aspect of like you have to rest, you have to go and socialize. You can't just be locked in like doing the work all the time. And that's like why now I make sure that my weekly routine is a good spread of like solo work, working with other contractors, hosting like virtual writing rooms, or like finding some way to bring community in the mix and like different skill levels, because you know you need to have the times of that's my reminder.
Oh, here, why don't we turn it off?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's the 420 420 reminder. Cool. Yeah, that was my alarm.
Yeah.
What I was going to wrap it up with is that one thing I would give advice to any business owner or creator or anyone is like build a community, so that in times where you feel stuck, or when times where you need challenge, you have people who are going to be honest, and you can take that feedback and grow from it. Because it's like making content is like it's very much like every day I have to just put myself out there to make it work, and like that can be very taxing in seasons where like nothing's happening. Yeah. But it's like it's the showing up every day that there may be somebody who you reach out to that day, or there may be somebody who sees your content and reaches out to you. Like it's like you have to just keep going on that belief of like, this is going to work because I'm improving little by little, and that it's all going to just compound and like turn into the thing that you want it to. And of course, like being online has several different, goals. And I feel like my biggest thing was like, I started making content because I wanted to connect with other people. I wanted to listen to other people so that they feel heard. And more importantly, it's like, I wanted to be able to look back in this time of the internet and say like, yeah, I participated in it. I made content too. Like who knows what kind of technology might roll out or anything else that will bring us together. But I think a lot of it was that the real big shift in like my creator journey was that I simply just like wanted to join. I wanted to feel like I was a part of something. And then that, being around other creators, like I recently went to the Lighthouse in Venice Beach, was like this new creator campus that just opened. That was so inspiring to see a group of organizations come together and build this campus to really show that, content creators or, making content is here to stay. It is the new level of production. Yeah, it's very new within our lifetime, yet there's still so much space. There's fans for all of us, if everybody made content. But that's the thing, not everybody makes content. So it's the ones that do that really stand out. And, I really focus on, how can I help people who are taking this risk see something out of it to keep them going? Because that's the most important thing, to have a reasonable yardstick to measure yourself, not just something so far down the line that it's like just a real long marathon to get there. Like, you really have to work with consultants, work with coaches, work with mentors, work with other people who can help you see yourself when you can't see it, like when you can't see how far you come.
I think that's a great way to end it. Alex, where can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn at Alex Hutchi, and you can also find me on YouTube at Homestead Hutch.
Brilliant. Well, thank you folks for tuning in for another episode of A Businessman's Guide to Everything. Do check out Alex, but until you do, take care and be well. Bye, everyone.